Okay, we're continuing with the chapter where we are doing data series using pandas. Okay, in the first part of the video, we saw what a data series or a data frame is. And I also taught you how to create a data series in pandas. In the second video, we learned how to access the elements of a data series. In this part of the video, we're going to be concentrating on all the attributes of the data series. So here we're going to be learning almost around 6 attributes of the data series. Okay, let's start. Now, the first attribute of the data series is called name. Now, what does this attribute do? It assigns a name to the data series. Okay. Now, for all our examples, I am going to be talking about the data series that you see on top. Okay, I'm creating a data series if you look at it carefully. And how do I know I'm creating a data series? Can you see a function named as series being used? So I'm creating a data series and the name of the data series is what? CAPCNTRY, or not the name of the data series, the name of the variable which holds the data series. Okay. And what is under the series? What are we storing under the series? We have India as the first index, and the value associated with India is New Delhi. Okay. Then we have USA, and the value associated with it is Washington, DC. Then we have UK, and the value associated with it is London. And then we have France, and the value associated with it is Paris. Okay, so let's see what happens when I talk about this attribute. Here, if you see carefully, I am not displaying the attribute. You could use a print statement to display the attribute, or you could use a statement as shown here to modify the attribute. Okay, so when I say CAPCNTRY dot name is equal to capitals, it means this data series is given the name capitals. So the name of the data series is capitals. Okay, so now when I say print CAPCNTRY, it shows me the data series. It will show me the data series. And can you see it says name colon capitals? Okay. Now you might wonder, then what is CAPCNTRY? CAPCNTRY is the name of the series that you have given, not necessarily, because every variable need to be given a name. So a series that we are creating is going to be stored in a variable. So that variable name is CAPCNTRY, but the series now has been named as capitals. Now, will I see anything about the name in this particular chapter? No. You will come to know what happens when you give a name in the data frame chapter. Just to revise with you, data frame was nothing but a tabular structure consisting of rows and columns. Now, if I take the content of a data series and I put it into a data frame, okay, New Delhi, Washington, DC, London, Paris, that's my data, right? That data will have a column heading called capitals. Okay. Otherwise, what would have happened if I took this series which did not have a name and I transferred into a data frame? Then New Delhi, Washington, DC, London, and Paris by default would have a positional index value, and you would have to give a labeled index. But in this case, what happens is, all this, when they get transferred to a data frame, that column of the data frame will have a heading, and that heading is going to be the name that you have given here, which is capitals. Okay. So here as such in this chapter, you won't see how you can make use of the name attribute, but it's useful when we are transferring the contents of a data series into a data frame. Is that clear? Okay. Let's go ahead with the second parameter. The second parameter is called the index.name. Again, the data series I have used here is the same. I'm going to use the same data series. So I'm not erasing all that from the right side of my screen. That continues to be there. Okay. And I'm assuming that, I'm done with the name part of it. Okay. What does index.name mean? Now, if you see what are the indexes given to you, India, USA, UK, France, okay, but above the index, you want kind of a heading which says, what does your index represent? Then you can give a name to the index by using the index.name property. Now in this scenario, what exactly happens is, if I say capcntry.index.name, here you will give the index will have a name associated with it, which means I'm just informing that the indexes represent country names. You can see it in the output as well. Otherwise, you remember, we would not get this in the output. It was only these lines. Now, what is happening is, above the indexes of the data series, you are seeing a name called countries. Okay, now I want to repeat, you can have print capcntry.index.name to display the currently existing name, or you can assign a name. So remember, when we're using attributes, you can either assign or print. Is that clear? Okay, let's go to the next attribute. And the next attribute is values. Okay, now what does the values attribute do? Values attribute is easy. It will just tell me the it will display the list of values in the series. What are the values you are storing? I told you, in a series, you have values, one column of values and an index associated with it, either positional index or labeled index. So here, it's only going to be picking up the values and presenting it to you as a list. So can you see here, when I say print.capcountry.values, it has printed all the values that were present. These are the values that are present in the data series. All the values that are present is going to be displayed as a list. Okay, so the first property was name. Attribute property, same thing. Attribute was name. Name gives a name to your data series. The advantage of giving name is, when you convert this data series into a data frame, the columns, the values will have a heading depending upon the name given in the data series. Second attribute, we saw index.name. So that's a name given to the indexes, the labeled index. Positional index, why would we want to give name? But if you have a labeled index and you want to give it a name, you could do it using the property called index.name. Then we're coming to the property called values. And what does the property called values do? It will give you a list of values that you're storing in your data series. Is that clear? So let's go ahead. The fourth property is called the size property. Now, what does the size property do? It's just going to tell you how many elements, how many values have you stored in your data series. So in this example, if you see, I have New Delhi, Washington, DC, London, and Paris. So these are the 4 values that I'm storing in a data series. So you can see in the output, we have got the answer as 4. Okay, next. Empty. Now, what is this attribute going to do? It's basically returning me a Boolean value. Boolean value, there are 2 Boolean values we've learned, true or false. So this empty attribute is returning me a Boolean value, either true or false, depending upon, does your series contain data or is it an empty series? Now, if you look at this example that we have drawn, capcntry, we know that it contains data. It has 4 values. So obviously the empty attribute is going to return false, like you see on the screen here. Okay. But if I created an empty series, now you might wonder, how do you create an empty series? If I created something like this, okay, in this scenario, the series is an empty series. And if I use an attribute called .empty, it will give me the value true. Clear? Okay. And the last attribute that we need to know is an attribute named as dtype. Oh, we've seen this dtype attribute even before when we were talking about NumPy arrays. Okay, what does the dtype attribute do? Basically, even without using the dtype attribute, I want to remind you, if you remember, when we were displaying something, when we're displaying the series, do you realize it displays the series and at the end tells you dtype and the data type of the values? That's exactly what your dtype attribute also does. It tells you what kind of value have you stored in your series. And here we see my series the values consist of strings, And I told you earlier that strings are referred to as an object in data series. If your values were integers, you would either get an int 32 or an int 64. If your values were floating point values, then you would get the answer as float. Is that clear? So I hope the attributes of the series is clear to you. There are many more attributes, but with respect to your syllabus, you just need to know 6 of them. Okay? Okay, bye. Thank you.